It is Friday, and we're already at the 22nd of March in 2024. Now, I've suspected since 2022 that 2024 was going to be an epic year for us, and it's turning out to be that way. Now, already in March, we've had Bitcoin exceeding previous all time highs. So early, we haven't even had the Bitcoin halving yet. And we've had a little pullback, which has probably freaked some very new people out. They're not used to these kinds of savage pullbacks with Bitcoin hitting or what 74,000, almost 75,000, and then going down to 62,000. It probably has them totally freaked out. And that's just what we call in crypto a regular Monday. That kind of thing happens all the time in crypto. And you get kind of used to it, almost numb to it. To new people, it's probably pretty rough. And we are entering what I call stage 2 of the bull run, because stage 2 is when you have new people coming in with new money. Stage 1 of the bull run really is where a lot of the good pickups are, right at the end of the bear market and even in stage 1. But we've had some growth from stage 1. The bottom of the bull market, like Bitcoin's price, went all the way to $14,000 at the bottom. So we're no longer cheap. And some of the really cheap price we saw, some of those were gone. I mean, we saw some projects that I was really interested in. We saw Bumper even under 2 cents at the bottom of the bear market. We saw Myria at 0.11 cents, and now it's been trading at 1 cent and above. So like we saw some really savagely cheap prices, and probably those savagely cheap prices are gone. But we're still in this bull market, and we have so much momentum ahead of us. Hopefully you've made some good gains from the bottom. I know at this time last cycle, I wasn't even at a break-even point yet from what I had dollar cost averaged in the bear market. Because when even, I was following this strategy that I was pretty much kind of inventing and creating, that is exactly what I did in real estate, which is dollar cost averaging during the bear market. Because you don't know where the bottom is. Sometimes you end up buying it goes cheaper, and then it goes cheaper, and then it goes cheaper. So this time in the last bull run, I wasn't even at a break even yet. This time I'm already past break even. But last time, my first one that I was prepared for, I still wasn't even a break even. And I was just hoping and praying that it would reach a break even and that I could make some really good gains. And I was hoping I would double or triple or really even quadruple what I had put in. Now, what I didn't imagine was that it would go so much better than that. Even though I made some risky choices, I bought some things that were high risk, bought some meme coins and other things during the bear market of 2018 through 2020. Only 35% of what I bought even survived into 2021. But that 35% made me 100x from what my portfolio hit at the bottom, or a total of 20x from what I had put in. Now, keep in mind that at this point in the last bull run, I wasn't even at a break-even point yet. We still have lots to go in this bull run, and hopefully many of you are going to see the kind of gains that you really joined crypto for. I know a lot of you have really dug in and you've been following this channel, and when you hear the way I talk about these things, it resonates with you because you recognize this is a system or approach that works, that helps keep your FOMO in check so that you're not buying high. It helps you dollar cost average when things are low, when it's the scariest to buy. And that's what ultimately leads to success. Everyone I know that is a multimillionaire through crypto, this is how they did it. It's not rocket science, but it does take a systematic, strategic approach where you have to learn to put your emotions aside to do not what your emotions are telling you. Often you're actually doing the opposite of what your emotions are telling you to do. I've had some people tell me over the years, and even I thought maybe I needed to do this when I was new, that maybe I need to turn my emotions off. I don't. I learned that I don't need to turn them off. I just need to actually acknowledge what they're saying and revisit it as if it's a time that I should do the opposite of what my emotions are telling me to do. And generally that works pretty well. So during this bear market, it was probably really, really scary for all of you to continue dollar cost averaging in. And when you probably did buy more, the price probably dropped more on you. And that was really depressing. And that's really hard until you get further down the road and you realize that what you did was the right thing. And that what you did has set you up in ways that I look forward to you realizing and experiencing. Because I know what it did for me 2018 through 2020. And then as later 2020 and early 2021 happened, and then later 2021, it was amazing. It allowed me to let go of my day job, allowed me to do crypto full time, it allowed me to get back into my fitness and start taking care of my physical side that I had let go. Allowed me a lot of freedoms that I didn't have before because of one good crypto cycle. Now, it isn't time then, like many of you are going to do well this cycle. Please, please don't run out and buy Ferraris and Lamborghinis. That would be bad money management. At least till your second cycle that you're prepared for. Because once you break into not millions, but high tens of millions or hundreds of millions, well, then a Ferrari purchase isn't going to break you. A Lamborghini purchase isn't going to break you. And what you're looking to do is you're looking to diversify into one thing that crypto is not really good at giving you, which is passive income. Because what crypto can do outside of everything else is help you grow a net worth that you can't grow anywhere else. Like you can go from $2,000 to during the bear market to at the end of the next bull run, as you're kind of learning, you might turn that into $100,000. But then if you keep applying yourself during that next bear market, you roll that $100,000 into some pretty smart buys, you might exit the following bull run with a couple $1 million, and your life is changed. Now, if you only had $2,000 to put in, it's probably because you were in a third world country. If you're in a first world country, if you only put $2,000 in, you probably weren't trying hard enough. When I saw how important this was, it's not that I use money I couldn't afford to lose. I did squeeze my expenses down so much that I stopped going out to eat at all. I was eating rice and I was eating other things because I needed all that money to be able to roll into crypto so that I could put a meaningful amount every week and every month during the bear market of 2018 through 2020. And it sucked. I wasn't living super high on the horse. It sucked having to think about whether I needed to spend the gas money to go do all these things. But I knew what I recognized the crypto opportunity for what it was and the kind of multiplier on your money that it could have. And so when I would look at things, I would say, okay, I really want to take that trip. That trip will cost me $2,000. Or I could put that money in this bear market into other things, and that 2,000 at a minimum could turn into 40,000. But possibly if I do well, it'll turn into 100,000 or 400,000. So a $200,000 trip or $100,000 trip, that's just way too expensive. Was I wrong on that? No, I wasn't wrong on that. $2,000 deployed at the bottom of the bear market. My average portfolio from the bottom went about 100x up. So a $2,000 trip would have really cost me about $200,000. So and that was the way I thought about it. Now, from here to the rest of the bull market, I don't know. It depends on what you're in as to how many 100Xs are left in some of the different projects. Probably some. The real gains, like Myria, is still 10x up from its lows. Now, I think Myria is starting to get a good price again, and it's interesting. I think blockchain gaming is getting on my mind again as the narrative has really cooled. I'm a big fan of blockchain gaming. I think it's one of the biggest narratives that we're going to experience in this bull market. And yet it, unfortunately, because some YouTube coverage blew it up in October that, oh my gosh, is the biggest thing. And it's not like they're wrong, but that alone created a narrative pump that happened simply because of the coverage. And a lot of these projects ran up, which isn't bad when you're holding the projects, but it's bad if you're trying to buy a lot more of them. Want to shout out, we are live. Chris Ashbay says, hey, Rainmaker family, happy Friday. Pete D says, Rainmakers Unite. Hey, Chris. Vasco E says, hi, Rainmakers. Trigger SXM, what's your Myria price prediction for this bull run? 30 cents to $1 is my price prediction for Myria. Somewhere in that realm makes sense to me. All right. I do want to welcome, I didn't do my little intro yet. Obviously you're here and you know that you're the Crypto Rain channel and with our family. I'm sure you know my story that I came into crypto 7 years ago. And I did have some investment experience. Now, this did give me a strategic advantage. I did go to business school. And so ever since I was a kid, like if you think I was born with a golden spoon in my mouth, you're absolutely wrong on that. I joke, but it's only somewhat of a joke that I was too poor for Kool-Aid because my mom, when she would go to the commissary, because my dad was in the military and we were able to go to the commissary, she would buy 2 packs. So she'd go once a month and buy most of our food for the month to save money. She would buy 2 packs of Flavor Aid, not Kool-Aid, per month. So we would get Flavor Aid twice per month. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so jealous of all those other kids that get Kool-Aid. So we grew up pretty poor. I did have lots of brothers and sisters. It's actually not bad to grow up poor. It's actually a beautiful thing because it grows you up with a drive for more. And my dad had to move around a lot. And I didn't like that because I finally make a whole bunch of friends and then we'd have to move. And I was like, I don't want to move, Dad. And he would say, well, I have to because my job needs me to move. And I was like, well, just leave your job. And he's like, well, we can't afford to. Why can't you afford to? Well, because we don't have any money. So to me, money became a safety net. Money meant you had choices. Money meant you had options. And it started me on this journey of why do some people have money and some people don't? Interesting question, right? Now, a lot of victim mentality people will tell you, oh, it's because they're lucky. Oh, they were born into wealth. But that's not actually true. If you read this book, The Millionaire Next Door, most inherited wealth is absolutely squandered because they do not know how to use it. Like 90% of inherited wealth actually destroys the people that inherit it. So if you have this vision that people have money because they inherited it, mostly that's not true. And some of the ones that did inherit it, they really don't value it like somebody that's earned it. It isn't necessarily an advantage to be born wealthy in your life. You're actually an advantage if you're born lower middle class or upper lower class. Because especially in a first world country like Canada, US, United Kingdom, and hopefully you grow up where you don't have everything you want, where they don't shower you with gifts, so that you learn the value of being able to go out and work and create something yourself. So I grew up with this hunger of how do I have money so that I have options? And so I read as many books as I could get my hands on, like The Millionaire Next Door, which really taught me a lot about who is rich and who isn't. Taught me about how the rich actually don't usually live very extravagantly. The reason they're wealthy is that they save well. You wouldn't even know that they're rich. That's why the book is titled The Millionaire Next Door, is because you might live right next to them. They might have a net worth of $8 million and they live just like you do. Part of the reason they're rich is they just saved or invested well. Okay, that's cool, but I did want to be more rich than that. And I did want to live extravagantly. So how do you get to those types of riches? Well, you do have to learn to make your money work for you. So really, there's 2 ways to get massively rich in this world. And one is to learn how to help others work for you and provide a good job for them. So they have a good job. They really enjoy working for you so that you can leverage other people's time. The other way is to learn how to leverage money. Now, you can try leveraging other people's money. I don't recommend that in the crypto space. Essentially, that means borrowing to invest in the crypto space. The returns are good enough here. You don't need to. So you're learning how to deploy your own money, your own capital into effective ways that can grow into much bigger amounts for you. And that's where the wealth is made. And you do not do that through buying meme coins. You do not do that at a predictable way in buying meme coins. You do that by identifying what in the blockchain space is possibly going to catch major traction because it fundamentally solves real issues and real problems. Because that's what you want to invest in. Not just some crypto project that has a tokenomics thing and they burn it and this. And it's like, okay, but what does the company do that substantially improves pain points for a business, that substantially improves the quality of life for people, or it reduces costs? What does it do that brings a sustainable benefit out there? Because if it doesn't have something like that, it is not going to survive. It's like the .com era where, okay, there were all these .coms. If you create a .com, you could raise a whole bunch of money, but 98% of them went absolutely bust. And a lot of these crypto projects will go absolutely bust. So you're looking for ones that have a good team that can do something substantive that possibly could massively improve things. Maybe it improves what the internet can do, the costs of having the internet do things. Like Chainlink provides Oracle solutions so that all these different applications that need access to price feeds to be able to tell exactly what the real price is of something at any given moment can get that data. That's the problem Chainlink was solving. That's why Chainlink's market cap has grown so sizably since like 6 years ago. What problem does Ethereum solve? Well, unlike Bitcoin, ETH could have smart contracts on it. And so smart contracts provided actually opened a door to this Web3 world, really. Bitcoin introduced this technology, and Bitcoin will always probably be the best store of value for crypto. But Ethereum opened a door to the Web3 world, which is this idea of smart contracts. And as people built on those smart contracts, realizing the power of them, it unlocked technologies that could allow gaming to be massively improved because you could actually own the items in the games. It allows possibly AI to go place it couldn't. What is the big ways that AI can go place it couldn't? Well, this idea of decentralized computing, or that you can use other people's computers and their processing power for your processing needs. It allows much smaller companies to have access to major processing power that they don't have the capital to build some big server farms in like Silicon Valley or somewhere where they could then have all this processing power they would need for their AI, or to build a supercomputer for their AI. They don't have the 2 billion or 10 billion or 50 billion it would take to build that supercomputer. They don't need to. They can just actually rent GPU power. That's come about because of what blockchain and cryptographic encryption enable. And so those are real world use cases. We were talking in our pre-live stream about an interesting idea, which is, I really like the idea. It is on the Cardano network. What is the name of it? I can access that chat. Give me just a second. I'm forgetting their name entirely. Love it. Nothing like forgetting a word. World Mobile Token. So World Mobile Token, they're allowing essentially for 1/10 of what it costs for like Verizon to go build cell phone towers and stuff to extend network coverage for cell phones. They found a much cheaper way to do it. Now, it's actually a really good idea, providing real world solutions. Am I invested in that one? No, I do really, really like the team, the project behind it. I like that they were building on Cardano. I'm just a little bit concerned that Tesla is also building satellite infrastructure and some cell phones that are going to compete with Apple and are probably going to integrate with their satellite technology, which if that comes together, maybe there will still be a need for what World Mobile Token is doing. I just don't know. Now, is World Mobile Token probably going to survive into this coming bull market? Absolutely, I would guess so. Are they going to survive in the coming 10 years? I don't know. One of the beautiful things about the crypto space is that as we look at what we're really doing, we're making strategic investments in early stage companies. They call that venture capital investing, or angel round, or angel investing. So really, you're all venture capital investors. You're all angel investors investing in early stage companies. And that normally when you invest in an early stage company, it's going to be 10 years before you possibly see any returns if the company doesn't fail during that time. And so normal early round investing or early stage capital investing, you might have a 90% failure rate, but that 10% that succeeds, if you're pretty good, you make really good money on. But in crypto, because we have this 4-year cycle where every 4 years, essentially crypto goes absolutely crazy, you only need to look at, will this company survive into the coming bull market? And if so, what kind of multiples might they have? So would something like World Mobile Token probably survive into the coming bull market? I don't see why they won't. Will they do pretty good during that? Probably. The reason I haven't invested in them is because there's a number of projects also that fit into that. And I haven't been as deep in the Cardano community as I used to be. It's a whole, it's really hard to keep up with. There's so much in crypto to keep up with. Vasco E asked, do I think OMI is still going to 10 cents? No, I think it's going to 30 cents. So Vasco, I still have really big, yeah, PD was helping me out there. World Mobile, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you, family. I appreciate you. Yes, I do think that OMI can do extremely well. Now, it went to 1.4 cents. So 10 cents would only be like, what, a 7x from the previous all-time highs. We'll see if it reaches like the 30 cents I'm looking at. I think there's some things that come together that it possibly will. Now, should it ever go to 30 cents? Probably not. But there's a difference between should it go that high and will it go that high. Sometimes in crypto, the FOMO is so real, prices hit numbers they shouldn't, and yet they do. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Dirk Latte, there's 2 ways you can go on Tangem. You have to pick the route that you feel is best for you. There's pros and cons to each side, right? So if you choose a seed phrase and somebody gets hold of your seed phrase, well, then your wallet can be compromised because then they can just put the seed phrase into whatever and take all your tokens. If you don't go with the seed phrase, if you lose your cards, you're screwed. So it's up to you which way you want to go. Both are actually okay options. You just have to protect it in different ways, right? So if you get 3 Tangem wallets and no seed phrase, well, then put one of those in a fireproof safety deposit box in a bank so that if you lose your other 2, you have some kind of backup. Otherwise, you know, a lot of people say not your keys, not your crypto, and they're right. But also, if you lose access to your seed phrase, not your crypto. So there's risks in every way possible of storing things. Like we in crypto, we are in the middle of massive amounts of risk all the time. And we learn how to balance those risks so that we mitigate them so that they almost never impact us. And so that is how you become really successful in this space, is learning how to mitigate all these risks and to also take bets where the odds are way more in your favor than they are against you. And that's really all we do in this space. And what you're learning is how to do that. Now, I don't focus a ton on like security measures for your crypto. As far as on the channel, that's not what I cover. And I've had a number of people that ask me to cover it. There are some people, YouTubers, that are absolutely fantastic on that. And that's what they're exceptional at. What I'm exceptional about is my mind thinks economics and the psychology of people behavior all the time and how those come together. That makes me really good on the strategic investment side. That's what I'm good at. And so that's what I talk about and what I share. And that's what I'm super passionate about. Just like you, I then watch the videos on security and I decide what kind of security measures I'm going to go through. And I watch those videos. So I'm not going to try to become an expert on that. I don't need to. I'm just going to stay like within the realm that I feel I'm exceptional about, and I can help you guys learn to think this way. Me learning to think about this was just really stemmed from the fact of I didn't want to be poor my whole life because poor meant I didn't have options. And I think many of you are probably in that same boat, that you want to learn how to make your money work for you so that you can end up at this place you always want. Now, some of you, it's a beachfront property. Some of you, it's nice cars, a really nice house, maybe a really nice spouse and wife. I will tell you, a really nice spouse or wife has yes, money does help, but there's a lot of other growth you need for that. Because money is just one of the three things that you have to really master in order to really get an amazing life. But it is one of the most important things, because with money, you can take care of your health, which is not one of the other factors. You can also invest in yourself and your social skills, social dynamics, and managing female relations or managing relations with the opposite gender. Those are the three things you have to do to have an amazing spouse, if that's what you're looking for, or amazing relationships in your life. Drake says, true. I went with the cards, so I don't want to bother with remembering them. Thank you. Yeah, it's not a bad way to go. Just put one in a super secure location. Tangem is a great wallet. I haven't had, I don't know anyone that's had major problems with them. There are probably some stories, people, lost their cards or whatever, but that's going to happen. That is one of the problems with having something like that. If you order the 3-card pack and you lose all 3 cards and you had already moved up a bunch of crypto to it, you have no access, right? So that is the downside of it. If you have 3 cards and you lose 2 of them, might be a good time to order a new 3-card set and then transfer all your tokens over to the new set, because you don't want to be in a position where you just have 1 card left. Because if you lose that card, you lose all your crypto. Moved my OMI to VV, and I've been in crypto for years, but it's still scary to do. It is scary to do. That's Dr. Stuff was talking to me about this, and he's like, well, I'll probably at some point move over my OMI over to the VV app, because the truth is, if the VV app gets hacked, then like the FUD on OMI is going to be so huge that like the OMI price is going to tank anyway. So who cares? Like, I get it. If I lose one, I'm getting a whole new wallet. It's not a bad way to go. Like really, like ordering those, I don't see why you wouldn't get 3. Makes a lot of sense, because just especially if you didn't go with the seed phrase method. All right. We were talking about money and making money. Like, so wealth creation, crypto is one of the best ways to have massive wealth creation, but only if you're doing it right. And what I mean by doing it right, like I ignore 70% of the crypto projects. Like I get hit up with emails, probably about 5 a week, asking me to cover some meme coin, and they offer to pay me a whole bunch of money, or to cover XYZ project, and I cover almost nothing. We do have some strategic partners here, OneChain, Definity, because these are substantive projects doing things that are massively can increase what blockchain can do and taking it toward the future. OneChain, holy cow, I'm so impressed with their technology and the way it's come together this last year. I think they're vastly under-recognized. Definity as well, in creating a whole new path so that institutional investors can get access to crypto in a way that they're already used to for trading assets. Really cool what they're doing. But I get hit up by all these companies wanting me to cover it. And like at least 70% of the crypto space, in my opinion, is dog shit. They're just like some kind of tokenomic scheme, or they're some kind of like whatever scheme. And I'm just looking for projects that have some substance that might improve things. Like I am a big fan of blockchain gaming. Now there's a lot of blockchain gaming companies that'll fail, but blockchain gaming is the future of gaming. And so I'm diversified across a number of them. And I think in this coming bull run that blockchain gaming, people will realize that blockchain allows true ownership, and true ownership is the future of gaming. And so probably it will overswing and go too high as everyone wakes up to blockchain gaming. And then it will crash down, because that's the cycle it goes through. But as it goes too high, is a great time to exit with some profits. And maybe you've made 40x, 50x, 100x gains, maybe only 20x if you got in later. Those are still the kind of gains over a 4-year period that you don't have access to in other ways. Like even with leverage in real estate, if you get lucky, you might make 20x over a 4-year period. If you get really lucky on your timing and you get an amazing deal, and so many ifs, and the renters don't screw you. Like, so 20x over a 4-year period isn't very good in crypto. It means you messed up and could have done better. It means maybe you were newer and making some mistakes. Like my overall returns from the first bear market into the bull run were only 20x from what I'd put in. And that's not even amazing. That was just like crap. I still had some learning lessons to go, but boy, does that set you up on a better trajectory for your life, your first 4-year cycle, if you make at least 20x, because now you have substantive money to invest. Unless you only put 1,000 in, then you only have 20,000. That's not substantive. But even if you put $20,000 in, you made 20x. Now you have 400,000. 400,000 is substantive, because then if you deploy $50,000 into 8 projects, and one of those goes 100x, that's $5 million plus what you made on the other ones. So you start getting into substantive amounts, especially your second cycle. And by the second cycle that you're prepared for, you probably made a lot better decisions during that bear market. And so probably you'll make better than a 20x, might be a 30 or 40x. I'm looking forward to seeing what many of you do this cycle. I think it's going to be legendary. I think what we're doing here is going to be legendary. I don't know another channel that quite approaches things like this. There are some other YouTube channels I like. I do like Arcane Bear and the way he thinks. I think he's out of Panama. Seems like he's either Canadian or US citizen originally. Cool guy. He does mostly cover the main coins, but I like how he thinks. I do really like Crypto Crow from the Cardano community. I haven't listened to him a lot lately. When I was new, he was one of the best YouTubers out there. He thinks similar to how I described that. He looked for substantive projects and stuff. So there are a few people that are kind of like what I cover, but really I share, I guess, some of the efficiency lessons that I learned. Because what I've always focused in my life is how to be more efficient. Like when I was, trying to grow myself and everything, my goal was to be able to earn a substantive income on only 4 hours of work a week. Why? It's just efficient. So how could I make my time so valuable that on 4 hours of work a week, I could make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, if not more? Why efficiency is important to me. When I'm investing, efficiency is important to me. I want to make investments that I don't have to micromanage all the time, that I can put in, kind of forget about it, let it grow and take off, and then have an idea of when to sell it, because that's efficient. How do I get the biggest bang for the buck? Once I put in the time to become really good at understanding what metrics I need to look at, to then be able to leverage that time well. Because I don't know about you, but in the coming years, I'd like to have a whole lot more beach time. I don't know about you, but I would like to buy some nice sports cars. I would like to not buy a nice mansion or 3. So it's not like I love living frugal. I just understand that living frugal sets you up so that later on you can spend a whole lot more. And I do like spending. I don't know about you guys, but I love spending. I'm okay with holding back and tightening the belt. And I still don't live very extravagantly. I could, but I don't yet. But after this bull market, I will. For sure I will. Why? It'll be my second bull market that I was well prepared for. And I think many of you are going to do really well this bull market, because I know many of you are prepared for this. It'd be really fun to see what many of you will leverage from what you learned from me, because when I was new, I didn't have somebody explain these principles to me. I would have loved it. The course I created, Zero to Crypto Hero, I would have loved somebody to have that course created already, that I could have just paid for the course and taken it, and it could have shortened my time to kind of narrowing down and figuring these things out. Well, I didn't have that. What does get me excited is that some of you might end up being better at this than me. Some of you within your second cycle, I really doubt that I'll reach $1 billion by the end of this cycle. So many things would have to go so well for me to reach $1 billion that the probabilities are just low. But maybe one of you will do it. And that would be exciting to me, leveraging kind of what you learned from me, so that your learning time was just shorter and you were able to make better decisions, so that your first cycle that you were prepared for went better, and that your second cycle that you were prepared for went even better. That would be cool to me. Let me catch up on Pete D. says, hello. What are my favorite Web3 games? Well, so on the investment side versus what do I think is going to be very playable? I think Illuvium is going to be very playable. I like what they did with their land, and that they'll have the land game and the way you do resources, how that's going to integrate with their main Illuvium game. I think that's going to be really good. I think Gunzilla is providing a game that's going to be a great first-person shooter. It looks like Shrapnel's coming along quite well. Litcraft is actually the game that is the most developed blockchain game out there. Most people aren't aware of it because it's on its own blockchain. It's on the Devio blockchain. It can handle 8 million transactions per second. You don't even realize when you're playing it that it is on blockchain. Like all those little things that you're doing, I'll go to blockchain like this, and you don't have to submit some transaction fee or anything. It is just going to the blockchain. It speeds. Avalanche couldn't handle, all these other projects couldn't handle, and it just is like interacting all the time. Like, so as you're doing mining or you're doing all these things, it is all going to the blockchain and written there. And if your thing crashes, it's okay because it's already on the blockchain. Now they might wait. As they get more traction, they might space it out and only upload every 3 seconds or 5 seconds. But literally, some of the versions that I played, I haven't played it in a little bit, but it was getting uploaded immediately, right? As I made things happen, it was writing to the blockchain almost immediately. It was crazy. The amount of the depth of that game far exceeds anything else I've seen in the crypto space. A lot of the other games have come together and they try to look for a simple mechanism that they can put together. Litcraft has by far the most expansive things, and I think it will get more traction. The people who play Litcraft, it has quite an avid community that love it. So obviously, I would like to see that do well. I did buy a whole bunch of Litcraft land chests. I am an advisor to the project. I gave them some early strategic advice on their land and how to set that up, as far as what are the mechanisms for the land holders. What are the mechanisms for their lit pet sale that they did? So if you got a Genesis lit pet, that Genesis lit pet is level 7. There's a slight chance that you can create a level 7 in game if you're burning a whole bunch of their quint when you're trying to make one, but your chances are really, really small. So everybody who bought the Genesis lit pets, they're level 7. They say Genesis on them, and you also had a chance for it to be a silver, gold, or diamond level. And so down the road, if that game takes off, those Genesis lit pets will probably do tremendously. Where's the value on them now? Probably massively underpriced, and you can probably buy them on the glassblock.io site, which you can actually load funds on to with your credit card. If you can find Genesis lit pets, somebody told me they saw one on there for $5. I think I was paying $300 and something worth of ETH a piece. If you can buy, especially the chest, that's great, because then you still have the chance of getting the silver or the gold or the diamond. A lot of times, like this time during the last bull market, I had invested in Axie Infinity, and Axie Infinity land was still devastatingly cheap. I had put about $4,100 in Axie Infinity land. And this time during the last bull market, that Axie Infinity land was probably worth about $800. It wasn't an extremely comfortable place to be, but over the following 6 months, it went to about $400,000, at which point I sold. And then during the following months after that, it went to as high as about 12 million between all the things that I got, including the AXS token that I got for buying those chests. So they didn't actually give you AXS token. They gave you a token called Luna, and Luna was later, you're able to swap it or convert it to AXS token. Yeah. Will I leave you in this coming bear market? I only guaranteed you through the end of 2025. I don't know what I'll be doing after that. Probably I'll continue the dialogue in some forms. We'll probably continue running the private Patreon in chat. How active my role will be, I don't know. I tend to have massive ADHD and I get bored. By the time I have crypto completely figured out, I might just be bored of it. I don't know. So I don't know. I always felt when I was starting this, I had recognized by the time I started this channel that it takes 2 bull markets that you're prepared for to really reach substantive wealth. And that's why I built in through the end of 2025, was that because I knew it was just going to take me 2021. So I started this in December 2020. I saw where the market was heading and that we were going to be heading into the bull run. Sure enough, the bull run happened just like I thought. And then we had a pullback. And so another bear market, which, we were all prepared for and doing the right things during the bear market. And now we're heading into the following bull market, which might last into 2025. I'm not sure. I said through the end of 2025 because it wasn't clear exactly how things would play out. So my commitment is strong through then. After that, I don't know. I don't know what I'll be doing. Yes, even more bullish on Omi than ever. Really more bullish on Omi than ever. So I did answer some of these. Illuvium, Litcraft. So like Nakamoto Games, I've tried to reach out to have them on the channel. I even spoke with one of their advisors that connected me up to them, and they will not respond to my DMs, my invites to have them on the channel. I have not invested in Nakamoto Games. So I did say Shrapnel. I did say Gunzilla. I'm still looking for other ones. There's a lot of crap out there, just like, and crap can still fly from the bear market into the bull market, right? I just like to invest in ones that I really believe in. And so Cetus is one that I really believe in. Senate, the Senate token for Cetus and the Cetus token itself. I met with the founder, Dan Combe, and I've had him on the channel. I really like that guy. I do find leaders make a big, big difference on whether things will succeed. I really like Cornucopias. I think Josh and Rob are good leaders. They worked so hard, and they brought a good team together developing Cornucopias. I think Cornucopias has a chance to be really the first big metaverse that takes off. I don't know whether it'll happen that way, but we'll see. What they're doing is pretty graphics intensive, so how many people can they have on a server at the time will be kind of a bottleneck. But I like what they're doing. I think the first real metaverses that take shape will actually be games that end up having that are like MMORPGs. Any other games I'm super bullish on? I'm sure there are some, and I'm just not thinking about them. It's interesting what is going on with Super and I don't remember his name, Elio Trades. Yeah, I wish I had bought Super when it was cheaper. I'm not buying it now. I am considering buying a little bit of Super because you can actually get some Gunzilla airdrops if you're holding a bit of Super in your wallet. I haven't looked deeper into how that works. That sounds really interesting. And that was a smart partnership. Elio Trades has done a good job really creating some partnerships and connecting up some of the game makers. So he's actually played the role of a networker of connecting up a lot of the blockchain gaming companies to find ways to work together. That's been interesting. So let's see here. What is my modest price prediction of Bumper in the foreseeable future? So you probably know I'm a big fan of Bumper. We were talking about it a lot in the pre-live stream. Bumper is allowing you to do something that's really cool, and you can lock in your price protection on, say, ETH or Bitcoin. And so say Bitcoin's at reaches $100,000 and you're concerned that it's the top. So normally when you're concerned that it's the top, you would have to sell. Now, one way you could protect downside protection is by an option, but you have to be pretty sophisticated or kind of figure out what's going on with options to do that. A better way to do it is, and it's actually cheaper, Bumper's price protection in most situations ends up being much cheaper, is you just price protected it. You can protect it at the 95% mark or the 99% mark. So you say you price protect it at the 99% level, and it goes from 100,000 down to 60,000. You can actually cash in and say you had one Bitcoin worth that you're protecting or $100,000 that you're protecting. You can then actually cash in that price protection, get 99,000 out. Yeah, it's a strong product. Now, imagine if they integrated this with centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. So then right on the exchanges, you could just click some buttons. The transactions happen that then lock in your price protection. And you could also click some buttons to decide to send some of your stable coins over to the earn side, which the stable coins are what provides the liquidity pool to provide the price protection. Really, really cool things that they're doing. Now, they've always been a token worth severely over $1, and they've been trading about 5 cents. That's 20x from here. I would be extremely disappointed if they only went to $1. I would feel like it was a failure in that, gosh, things didn't come together right at all. Man, it did not live up to its potential. It's kind of like somebody that normally can high jump 8 feet and end up like clearing 2 or 3 feet. And you're like, yeah, that was a disappointment. So where do I hope it goes? I hope it goes into the $10 range too. If things came together right and they became the price protection method for most people in crypto, that could take it into the hundreds of dollars range. And that's where I hope it goes. Will it? I don't know. I do think they have an exceptional team. I've had several interviews with their team. We even did a 3-month strategic partnership. I've really enjoyed working with them. I find their team brilliant, smart, extremely hardworking. All the things I like to see in a team. So Bumper is one of my major investments. Do note, I am invested in Bumper. I'm very biased towards it because, like, when I say I believe in it, I don't just say that. I've massively bought Bumper, and I increased my position by another 42,000 or 43,000 recently. What's up, Jerry? I don't think you can buy Gunzilla yet. You can actually get the Guns wallet on your phone. And I don't know if it's still going on. You can get a free NFT, so get the Guns wallet, GUNZ. And I think this is legit. It came to me from one of my friends that's super into DeFi and gaming. And I didn't connect it up to any Web3 wallets I have. I don't connect any Web3 wallets up to my phone ever. Not to any of my main wallets. No way. But yeah, the Gunzilla wallet, I did go ahead and like download it. I then created a login, and then you could put in some code and get a free NFT. And so I did go through that, but I'm not aware that you can buy their token yet. I did invest in Gunzilla's pre-sale like literally 2.5 years ago. And their token still hasn't launched. I think at launch, those of us who invest in the pre-sale get 3% of our tokens. And then there's like this really big lockup after that. So I don't think there'll end up being a whole lot of tokens in circulation for a long time. Any comments on the new update about VV Comics? Really interesting what they did. There are certain people that take any opportunity just to criticize the hell out of VV for everything. Because did the launch go smoothly? Not at all. So they created a new VV Comics website, which was a really cool idea. But when it went live, a bunch of people bought some comics that still, I think some of them haven't been delivered. And this is always like the thing with deploying new technology or new systems like that. You plan it out and you test it on a small scale. But sometimes when you do it on a big scale, you realize there's some bugs that massively break. And that's what happened. Was it the best rollout in the world? No. Is that happen a lot with technology companies in the blockchain space, especially? Happens all the time. So some people put them on this pedestal that nobody can not fall from. Like VV is doing great things. I think the idea was cool. This idea of launching digital comics the same day those comics go to comic book stores, really cool idea. I think that digital collectibles are the way of the future. Although, interestingly enough, I really never bought physical comics before until I started buying digital comics. It actually made me more interested in physical comics. So I actually have some physical comics now where I didn't before, but it has brought to my awareness the importance of digital comics, because now I have to store those things. I have to like keep them in a safe, dry place so they don't go all weird. And I'm like, oh man, digital comics are so much more preferable. But you being able to buy these comics, they launch in the physical stores and the digital version launch at the same time. Going forward, that's going to be a really cool thing, because some of these ones that launch and they launch real time, some of them will be really big deals down the road. And it's hard to tell what will be a big deal. And those digital versions will end up being worth a ton. Interesting. I think Base is going to have a massive future. I think Base is going to become one of the chains that ends up being used a lot. So I will take a look at Well real quick because I'm interested. I don't have any positions for companies building on Base, but I am actually pretty interested in looking at some that might do really well on Base. Wow. Okay. Which the chart was cheaper. I'm not going to buy it at this point. So it's recently gone 6x. So $51 million market cap. It looks like the fully diluted market cap is about 3x over that. So, 33% of their tokens are in circulation. I just can't chase into this, but interesting. Might be one to keep an eye on. I do really like, I think that's interesting. Powered by Moonbeam, Moonriver, and Base. I do think that Polkadot's ecosystem, people are sleeping on it, and usually cycles, something that's out of focus comes into focus. And right now, everyone's talking about Solana. It is not the time to buy Solana or Solana ecosystem projects. Too many people are talking about it. The narrative is way too hot. It's not a bad time to be considering exiting and rolling into things that are still cheap. Polkadot's ecosystem, Moonbase, Moonriver are still pretty, or Moonbeam, Moonriver are still pretty cheap. So you can see what I'm looking at. This is Moonwell's website, and looks like they're powered by Moonbeam and Moonriver, which is interesting. Let's look at Moonbeam. Its market cap and its fully diluted market cap aren't too far from each other. It's not as cheap as it was, but it hasn't gone parabolic yet. You have this nice rounded bottom here. It's come up some, so it is 3x off its lows. Still not bad. I think Moonbeam. Polkadot has been on my mind, as in nobody's really paying attention to it. Nobody's talking about it. Polkadot and Kusama. And narrative sometimes shifts. So this was quite a bit cheaper. It's gone 5x. Has big boom here in December. Then it's kind of been pulling back some. Interesting. Yeah. Good suggestion. Any thoughts on Epico? Jordan Reese has been posting on it, but I think it's a tower defense game. It's just okay. Not exciting. They have other games and innovators coming, but it does not look AAA. It's not likely to be AAA. That doesn't mean it can't do well. I've talked to the Epico team actually 2.5 years ago, and what they're doing is pretty cool, but they haven't made substantive moves that are going to make them like really be able to go really big. So can they do okay in the coming bull run? Yeah, if I had thought about them when the prices were back, when the prices were here, I probably would have been a smart buy for me to buy it. But and their market cap's still pretty low at 1.7 million. Where does a market cap like this go? It could go to 30 million. It could maybe go to 100 million. They have somewhat of a studio, and they have some cool people working for them. They're definitely not dumb people. I just don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here, but it's just all right. I did buy some of their NFTs, some of their like different God NFTs. Back when they were like dirt cheap and everyone was ignoring them. I didn't end up buying the token. It would have been a good time for me to buy the token, and I didn't. But now it's gone up a whole ton from its disastrous lows. And we'll see, why are they going to succeed versus everything else? I don't know. The tower defense thing is kind of boring, and there are a ton of tower defense things out there. Now, they have some NFTs that they integrate with, and maybe it will come together just right. I don't know, but I don't know possibly what happens is that blockchain gaming goes so crazy that people just throw money at everything. And in that case, these small market cap projects where the market cap is so devastatingly low can then see like 100x gains, not because the game's particularly good, just because it's a game and it's seen as so cheap. And that might be the way it plays out. Yeah. Jordan does talk a whole lot about it. His analysis is okay on it. I would like a deeper analysis or just some more substantive reasons of why it's going to be a big deal when it's such a basic game. Jorge Silva, who joined us Wednesday and asked about AWT or Abyss World. I do appreciate it when you share additional insights, right? So the team is fully doxed. And they have partnerships with Microsoft, AMD, IGN, and Epic Games. That is interesting. It is hard to keep track of. There's so much good stuff. Like one of the reasons I created the community, the private Patreon and Discord, is I realized, especially in the bear market of by 2019 and 2020, I knew that I was missing a bunch of things because I was just one person. And I did have some friends that were smart about what they bought, but they didn't really research much. And so I was just like, man, I know there's so much out there that I'm just not aware of. How do I create a community of people that have an idea of what to look for so they start bringing to us good tokens? Ooh, I like where the market cap is on this. It looks like 15% of their tokens are in circulation. The market cap's at 5 million. This is an interesting price channel. You got rising higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. It's at this interesting near the bottom of the level, which is where I like to buy. Partnerships with, that would be pretty big. I do require for most projects that I'm interested in these days that they're fully doxed. It's too easy for projects, just the teams to up and leave when they're not fully doxed. Let's look at their Twitter. Okay, their Twitter, 194,000 followers. Holy cow. Now, you can buy Twitter followers. Let's see what kind of engagement they get. So 5.3K views on this. Okay. 10K views on this version of it. 4.8K views. Okay. Maybe a lot of those followers are real. Maybe some have washed out in the meantime. That does happen. Like even the YouTube subscribers, there's a bunch of people that are subscribed to the channel that never watched the videos because they got washed out during the bear market. Oh, this is interesting. Wow. For 5 mil market cap, Jorge, this is a good suggestion. Yeah, those are behaving like players probably, or maybe they're bots. Some pretty cool stuff. Anymore, it's not very hard to develop what they've developed here. Unreal Engine and some of the like pre-packaged stuff you can buy and put together make it easy to develop this fairly quickly. But that's pretty cool. Remember, when you're investing in stuff, it doesn't ultimately need to succeed. It just needs to ultimately succeed into the bull market when then the narrative hits and does really good, because by then I'm taking most of my profits out anyway. Yeah, I'm bullish on Mirandus if Gala doesn't screw it up. I've lost some faith in Gala. I sold all my Gala tokens a while back. I'm just not sure they think about it the right way. Mirandus, they put a lot of effort and time into. They were one of the big blockchain gaming companies, but I don't know, some weird statements from them and some weird directions that they've gone. We'll see how they do. Wilder World built nonstop over the bear, now rolling into partner. out partners with NVIDIA, Polygon, Celestia, and others. I've heard some people talking about Wilder World. Let's see what we got on price. $176 million. Ouch. Okay. That looks very GTA-esque. So this looks like kind of a GTA type thing, which could end up being the first real metaverses to catch on. Those skins look like, at least that last skin looked like, what was that game built by Bungie? Obviously not Halo, but the one after Halo. Yeah. Interesting. Huh. Let's look some more back at the charts. Let's go to the history and look at the length. So during the metaverse pump, it went to 660. It's still down 90% from there. It's up from its lows. Looks like its lows were way back here, about 20 cents. So it's only 3x up from its lows. So it was about a $60 million market cap. Now it's at $180 million market cap. It's gettable on Uniswap. MEXC, I think US people can currently use a VPN and not KYC to get access to MEXC. Who knows? Oftentimes those loopholes get closed. Can buy it on Uniswap. Let's look at their Twitter following. 136 million, followed by Myria. I like that. Miami with Celestia underneath. Interesting. Crypto Stash. You know, he's done a really good job at making some fun videos. And, you know, the persona that he's developed for his videos is kind of fun. Definitely heavily covers the blockchain gaming space. Interesting suggestion. One of the next steps of research that I do is I literally go to YouTube and I say, Wilder World Crypto AMA. And then I look at, so I go to YouTube and I look at, especially if I can find some interviews, but I just watch a whole bunch of videos on it. And I'm looking for hopefully a good analysis that makes sense, that isn't just pump. Oh, I think Wilder World is going to be so big because it's going to be big, because blockchain gaming is the future and because it's going to be big. And it's like, the only substantive thing they said in there is that blockchain gaming is the future, but we already know that because that's why we're here. So we didn't learn anything from that video. And sometimes that's the whole depth of analysis, which that's kind of a waste of time. What I'm looking for, and it doesn't always matter the size of the views, because sometimes the new people can make some substantive analysis. And I just go through and I watch 10 or 20 videos on it to really kind of absorb what is good about it. Interesting. Good suggestion. Crypto Rain, you might have some time to look into Bistro Beast. I'll take a look at that. That's probably the only one I have time for to look at. This will probably be the last one that we can look at. Okay. 2.5 cents. Market cap's at 1.4 million. Looks like we don't know what their max supply is. That's interesting. It's fully diluted market cap is maybe 60% of the tokens are in circulation. Yeah, 57% are. Okay. You can get on MEXC or Pancake Swap. I like Pancake Swap a lot. Interesting. So next steps, we go to their Twitter. and they have 4,500 followers. Oh, make food ecosystem that makes everyone happier. So we've heard about it going this direction. I think there's a bigger company also doing this. I forget the name of what they're doing, but they have some really good partnerships. So this is possibly kind of, I don't know, how long was their history? No, this company's been around for a long time. So they launched previously here. Interesting. Yeah. Will ultimately this idea succeed? My true thoughts, probably not. Might it make money from now into the bull market? I'd say the chances are decent that it will make some good money into it. Now, why do you need blockchain to do what they're doing? Maybe because the payments can happen through crypto for your food. Cool. But you can actually just plug crypto into the existing systems. Like, so companies like this are they're going up against giants. And just because it's crypto enabled, I don't know. I would give it like a 10% chance that, or less, that it succeeds in the coming 10 years. Now, depending on what their funding is like, really, if you're trying to make money on it, you're looking at, can they survive for at least the next 18 months? And if they can, and you think that it's massively undervalued, then maybe it's a play that you make some good money on. And it doesn't matter whether they succeed over 10 years from now. Addie Chan asks, do I have any insights on the Bitforex fiasco? Unfortunately, I have 32 million on Bitforex. I will probably never see them again. Do I like that? No. Yeah, I had some kind of update I read. It's not looking good. Like, it looks like, so from what I read, and who knows, maybe what I read wasn't correct, that the founders were getting pressure from regulators to license, and they in some ways had set it up to keep themselves anonymous, or fake identities, fake actual corporate headquarters and stuff. And so they actually just planned an exit strategy, is what it seems. Maybe I'm wrong, to take all the money and leave. Now, they didn't take the OMI. The OMI is still there. But that doesn't usually add up to, when the authorities somehow get access to the keys, to then going in and letting you, if you still have OMI that wasn't taken, withdraw it. I would love for it to play out that way. That's probably not how it plays out. Now, if they're not able to recover the Bitcoin and the stable coins and the ETH that were taken, what they'll often do is they'll take the value of the assets that are still available, and they'll divide them up by how much money everybody had on the thing. So even though our assets weren't taken, we're not necessarily going to get our assets back. And if they do some kind of distribution to owners after being in bankruptcy for forever, we might only get, like, say we had 1 billion OMI on there. We might be lucky to get a fraction of that back. Now, I hope I'm wrong on that. Obviously, I didn't love losing 32 million OMI. I don't usually leave a lot on exchanges, but Bitforex had been around for a long time, and I had bigger positions in OMI that were other places. But yeah, that was a substantive amount, too substantive for me to have left on the exchange and not withdraw it. But I didn't see it coming at all with Bitforex closing down shop like that. Yeah, Drive is switching blockchains. So Vasco's asking, why is Drive dumping? Drive is switching blockchain from Sui to Sui from BNB. They had some weird thing about, and I think ultimately changing to Sui would be a good idea. BNB has been a cheap place for them to be over being on the ETH blockchain, but Sui is probably a better place for them to be. I think you missed a lot of the early show. I actually addressed OMI twice, so I can't go back and do it again. Will you purchase back the same amount lost on Bitforex? I've actually already purchased back the same amount lost and more. And I've been adding to my OMI position, so I'm ahead of where I was. I think I'm at 92 million OMI or something. I was at 82 million or so, or 83, and I lost like 32 or something, and was at like 51, and it's like crap. So I'm almost at 100 million now. And if it stays this cheap for the next 3 months, maybe I'll just keep adding till I get to 1 billion OMI. But only if it stays this cheap for the coming 3 months. Cool. All right, giveaway time. If you haven't already, obviously OneChain and Definity are strategic partners, which leads to them giving us tokens that we get a giveaway for giveaways. If you haven't already figured out, most of our questions come from you following their Twitters. So if you're not already following their Twitters, why the hell are you not following their Twitters? And so as far as who wins, I have to go off who has the correct answer first on my screen. Now, when you put your answer in, it'll show up first on your screen oftentimes because it immediately updates to your screen. But since I'm not typing an answer in myself, you guys all have an equal chance for yours to show up first on my screen. All right, so let's ask our Definity question. Here's the question. First person to get the correct answer, then I'll announce who the winner is. I then need you to DM me to my Telegram. I need you to DM me your wallet address. So Definity, it'll be on the BNB chain that I'm going to be sending you your Definity tokens. The question is, Definity was recently shortlisted for the prize for the best execution and trading solution by ... Pete D is on it. Pete, good job. By Hedge Week. So here we go. Definity Markets. Big deal here. And you can go to their Twitter and actually you can cast your vote to help push that up. I know a lot of my community that you've decided to buy Definity as well. We are delighted to share that we've been shortlisted for the prize of the best execution and trading solution by Hedge Week in their Global Digital Asset Awards 2024. You have until Friday the 19th of April to cast your vote. So if you haven't, go in and cast your vote. And I'm going to post this. Cool. Pete is already on it. Voted yesterday. Smart. I like it. All right, Pete. Send me your BNB address, and I will get you your Definity tokens. Our next question is for OneChain. Realize I'm very biased towards OneChain. I really like what they're doing, and I followed them since 2018. I feel like this last year and a half, all their hard work of what they're working on has really been coming together in an amazing way. So this is a long answer. What are the 9 networks you can now move USDC between using OneChain's X flows? You can give the shortened versions of these because there are 9. There are a lot. Hopefully it doesn't edit out your answers. Let's see. GSE says Arbitrum, Avalanche, BNB Chain, ETH, Optimism, Polygon, OneChain, and close. Chris Ashby might be the first one with a correct answer because both Jerry and GSE said base instead of CeeLo. I'm gonna double check this. Right. ARB, Avalanche, BNB, ETH, Metis, Optimism, Polygon, OneChain, and CeeLo. Chris is our winner. GSE, you were right on it, but that last one was wrong. 2 people got base at the end in a row. I wonder if there was something that said base. What I'm looking at here is this. Let me show. Okay, we're happy to announce the deployment of new centralized non-custodial cross-chain bridges connecting the CeeLo testnet to 8 other networks between move USDC between ARB, Avalanche, BNB, ETH, Metis, Optimism, Polygon, OneChain, and CeeLo. All right, cool. I don't know on the global politics. I used to follow politics a lot more closely. I just don't have time this last year and a half to cover politics. It's not that I don't have time. It takes up too much of my mental energy. It acts a little bit as drain because essentially it's negative energy. And sometimes I go through and I binge and catch up on things, and then I just like stay clear of it for a while. I'm in the stay clear of it for a while phase. I haven't followed closely what that's going to do. Yeah. Astrological events do not cause black swan events. Global elites who are pushing agendas too. Yeah, global elites who are pushing agendas. True. I don't know that. Yeah, it'd be the eclipse. I don't know. There's some correlation between astrological events. I can't say that I understand it. I don't say that I deny it. I just say I don't understand it because I don't. There's more tie there than if there weren't some connection. It would seem like there would be more randomness than there is about it. Cool. Chris, send me your OneChain address to my Telegram, and I'll get you guys taken care of. That's everything we have for our live stream today. Guys, hope you enjoyed the talk. I hope you are pretty proud of yourselves for surviving the bear market. That was rough. That was really rough. And like, we've had a little bit of euphoria phase. Like last October was a little bit of a euphoria with blockchain gaming going crazy. And then like the last couple of weeks were pretty euphoric with Bitcoin going to some crazy numbers, a few other altcoins pumping. And then you pull back and we'll have more euphoria ahead. Remember, when the euphoria goes crazy, take profits, or if bumper is rolled out, at least protect your downside positions, because at some point what goes up does go down. We'll see y'all soon.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, you buy before you could. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that, and I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Make the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, but time like the present. The next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, studying to know that nothing comes easy, but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this road, cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. Strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time, the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort, cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past, making time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, but time to slow down, addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.